sortir en France.
Starfish?
Oui.
Okay. Starfish. He wants you to talk about starfish.
Comment ça?
Starfish is easy. Starfish.
C'est facile. Oui.
Starfish is starfish is essentially a metaphor for the premise that civilization, Western civilization at least, is built on the backs of its outcasts.
It's built on the back of what?
Its outcasts.
Of the outcasts. Okay.
As I spent a fair amount of time in academia, and a question with an obvious answer is, who is going to be more likely to make the scientific and technological breakthroughs? An emotionally healthy person who works from 9 to 5, has a loving family, takes their weekends off, keeps their work in its proper place, or the dysfunctional, compulsive person who's constantly trying to win the approval of parents that will never properly approve of them, who is a sort of a chain-smoking workaholic who works through the night, who doesn't take weekends off, who, if they have a family, ignores that family in pursuit of the goal. And generally, it's these compulsive types who tend to make the breakthroughs, simply because they're putting in more hours, they're doing more work.
Ok. Non, ici c'est facile, quoi. C'est la métaphore que ce sont des exclus qui font évoluer, qui font progresser le monde, en fait. Voilà. Il a dit qu'il a passé pas mal de temps dans l'académie, dans les facs. Donc, il disait qui était le plus sûr, qui allait faire avancer des choses. Celui qui bosse de 9h à 5h, qui a une famille, qui prend des week-ends et des vacances et qui mène une vie tout à fait normale, entre guillemets, quoi. Ou le fou, le type qui travaille toute la nuit, qui fume, sans arrêt, etc. Et en fait, la conclusion, c'est que c'est ces fous qui font avancer la chose. Des gens qui ne sont pas approuvés, qui ne sont pas acceptés par leurs parents ou par la société. Mais c'est eux qui, en fait, font avancer des choses.
But at the same time, you're not going to invite any of these people to your New Year's parties because they're just not much fun to be around. So what Starfish does was essentially take the metaphor of the people who are running civilization, but who are dysfunctional, and it cranks the dysfunction up, and it cranks their isolation up, and it literally sticks them at the bottom of the ocean with their hands on a kill switch. I mean, these people are running the power, essentially they're running the power grid for all of North America. They don't know how much power they have. It's also kind of a commentary on you know, we build our civilization on the backs of those who are dysfunctionally driven to overachieve, but the entire species also has a venerable history of essentially enslaving each other and forcing, you know, people into menial groups, not paying, you know, we've done it with other races, we've done it with other genders. There's always an out group that basically we use to take out our garbage when we don't want to do that. And so the rifters essentially encapsulate all of that. And puts them into a high-pressure cooker situation. And then asks the question, what happens when they find out how much power they have? The problem is they never have any power. No system is going to be stupid enough to give them that kind of power. So every time I tried to write a plausible ending that would be triumphal and would let them, you know, allow them to rise victorious from the depths, any plausible solution always involved them starting to rebel and then getting squashed like bugs by the overlords that had enslaved them. So at that point I had to introduce a wild card. I had to introduce the microorganism behemoth.
Yeah.
In order to
Do what?
Behemoth, a microorganism.
Okay. Okay.
I had to introduce behemoth to give them a fighting chance. And over and above all that, the central character in Starfish was my attempt at a thought experiment to try and figure out a woman I had been involved with the year before, who Lenny Clark is physically patterned off of, and who behaviorally she is patterned off of as well, although I have no idea what was going on in her head. So I know she had a history of abuse, so I was essentially trying to come to terms with an unhappy relationship.
Ok, il dit que ces gens, on les invite pas, ils sont pas acceptables socialement, même par les gens qui sont de leur côté. Donc ils sont au fond de la mer et ils contrôlent toute l'électricité fournie à l'Amérique du Nord. Voilà. Mais qu'est-ce qui arriverait s'ils arrivent à comprendre le pouvoir qu'ils détiennent, hein? Et la civilisation, et son idée c'est que la civilisation est bâtie sur le dos des gens comme ça. Ça a été les minorités, c'était les gens colonisés, quoi. Puis ils ne se rendaient pas compte du pouvoir qu'ils avaient en fait, quoi. Et parce ils deviennent les esclaves des civilisés, n'est-ce pas, entre guillemets, quoi. Mais on a toujours besoin des gens pour sortir des poubelles, etc. Donc on les utilise comme ça, hein. Mais le problème, c'est qu'ils ont beaucoup plus de pouvoir qu'ils ne le savent pas, quoi, hein. Et chaque fois, il cherchait une fin plausible, quoi, pour son histoire, il n'arrivait pas à la trouver. Donc, il a été obligé d'introduire une carte en plus de micro-organismes, behemoth, quoi, hein. Et il disait que c'était une expérience de pensée, mais qui venait d'une histoire qu'il avait avec une femme et qui tournait mal, quoi, et que le personnage féminin dans le roman est basé sur cette femme, quoi, en fait. Elle a beaucoup de ses caractéristiques. C'est quelqu'un qui a eu une vie plutôt malheureuse, etc., et qu'il cherche à mettre fin à une histoire qui était bancale, quoi, entre lui et elle.
Eh ben parfait, on est